What up, though, guys? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I am super duper excited and super grateful for today. It is an amazing day, and I say it each and every week, every Thursday. If you're tuning in right now, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, y'all already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add more to it. Listen, it is Thankful Thursdays. We have the activities of our limbs. Y'all, we ain't in nobody's hospital. We ain't in nobody's jail. We got our right mind. And it's always a blessing to sit before you guys and just drop some knowledge. You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? So look, so today is Thursday, and I know it's probably, I don't know if it's raining where you are, but it's raining here in Detroit. And if for those of you that don't know, I love the rain. Like, I think the rain is so amazing. It's so refreshing. Rain has so many levels to it. It cleanses, it refreshes, it waters for growth. It cools down the earth. It allows us to stay in the house so that we don't get COVID-19, because some of y'all let the sun come out and you forgot that there was a pandemic out here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm gonna add more to it. Some of y'all forgot. Y'all out here because the sun done came out, and y'all forgot that there's a whole virus just killing people because the sun came out, okay? And some of us need to be reminded that we still need to be social distancing, as well as preparing ourselves with the necessary protection equipment that we need to cover ourselves and our families. You know, sometimes we allow the weather to dictate our moods and how we move. You know, I used to date this guy. Well, I didn't really date him, but we kicked it or whatever. And he was always like when when the sun was out, he was turned up. And then when it rained, he was like depressed and feeling all crazy and acting all weird. And I'd be like, dude, what's wrong with you? It's raining outside. It's depressing. The thing about it is that you have to be careful and be mindful of people who are dictated by the weather. Every day that you wake up, that God puts breath in your body, you should be grateful and thankful and look at the day as if it's a beautiful day. People that are dictated by the weather are very fickle individuals, and you got to be careful about those people. If you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about today getting over the hill, getting over that hump. You know, I know yesterday was Wednesday, and they usually say it's hump day. But the thing about it is that most people throughout the week are always looking forward to the weekend because they've made it over that hump of the week. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about getting over that hill or that particular mountain that sometimes is a challenge. And, you know, it's even more of a challenge when it's raining. And I don't know about you, but I remember going to the Bahamas. And, oh, my God, if you've never been to the islands, I really encourage you, when they let us up out of here, to go get you a ticket and go to the Bahamas. It was absolutely beautiful and breathtaking, and the people were just so welcoming and nice and friendly, and you know, people left their doors open, and you know, it was chickens and like little turkey things just walking around, and you know, the people were so freeing. And I remember this particular beautiful day, me and my friends, we had you know, planned to do a hike. And so we were hiking up this mountain, and it was so hot. Oh my God, y'all, I was hot. My wig was sliding. It was just all bad, right? But it was a beautiful, breathtaking day. So you didn't think about that. All you thought about was, I am enjoying this moment. I've never been in the Bahamas before, so let me take advantage of it, right? So we're walking, and as we're walking, it starts to rain, right? Now, unbeknownst to us, they're used to having these periodic little rainstorms. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm your host, Hubbard. Make sure you share these videos. Share these videos. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. You know Jaja on YouTube, okay? You know Jaja. That's me. Follow me. click subscribe. So we're walking, and if you're tuning in, we're talking about getting over the hill. As we're walking up this treacherous like pathway in this mountain, it's already hot, and then it starts to rain. So you already know it gets hot, then it get rainy, then it gets sticky. But the difference was it was a cool rain. The rain had cooled down the atmosphere. My wig had stopped sliding, y'all. And it was a calming presence. And the water on the greenery and the shrubs and everything just made everything glisten. It made everything glisten. And then we started to hear like the birds, and we started to hear the animals move throughout the jungle around us. And then we saw the people. They were still outside as if nothing was happening, like it was just normal. And it was so beautiful and breathtaking. And see, sometimes you have to look at certain situations as what it is. You can't look at, oh, it's depressing and it's raining, and you know, I got family in the hospital, and my mama done died, and my daddy died, and my dog dead, and everything is horrible. And so when you start thinking and talking like that, it messes up your mindset and your mood. And so now everything is you know, hard to deal with, or everything has changed your mode. The kids start talking, you get irritated. The TV on, you getting frustrated. You know, your husband or your spouse say something crazy, and now you frustrated with them, all because your moods have become predicated upon the weather. You have to look at every season in your life as a beautiful season. There are people right now that are in situations that wish that they could look out of a window and see the rain. There are people right now that wish they could go walk out their door and go stand in the rain. You know, my brother, he called me the other day, and if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. We're talking about getting over the hill. My brother called me the other day from prison, and he was telling me about his workout, y'all. He was saying how he do 1,000 push-ups and, you know, all of this. And he was just saying how, you know, they couldn't go outside. Here it is, one day you're able to go outside to work out, and then in the next breath, you can't even go outside, and you got to watch from a little bitty window that's about this big. And so when you think about getting over some of the hills in your life, you have to look at it in a different perspective. You know, I don't know about any of you, but this year, 2020, has definitely given all of us a vision beyond our own. We have walked in and stepped into some areas in our lives that we probably never thought that we would walk into, or deal with some situations that we thought we would never have to ever deal with, or rearrange our lives because we have to become or concede to what is happening in our world today. And, you know, I thoroughly enjoyed my Mother's Day, and I hope all of the mothers out there enjoyed their Mother's Day. And for those of you who had lost a mother, I know this was probably your first Mother's Day, not being able to spend it with your mother. And I remember doing a video, and I said, you know, the best thing that anyone could do for their mom is do the very things that you promised her that you were going to do. If you said, Mom, I'm going back to school, or her desire was for you to go back to school, now is the perfect time to do that. If you said, or you discussed with your mom about some of the things that you had, desires that you wanted to accomplish, now is the time to do those and honor your mother by doing those things. You know, this was the 5th year of Mother's Day that my mom wasn't here. And I vowed on that day that I was not going to be sad. You know, I had made a declaration that I was not going to be sad. And we have the power to navigate through our emotions. It's like somebody making you mad, right? They make you mad, and you be like, oh my God, you done made me mad, and da-da-da-da. Now you mad throughout the whole day. You know, you mad at the clerk that's bringing up your bags. You mad at the Lyft driver because they driving too slow. You mad because your kids is playing and having a good time. Everything has now switched your emotions because you're upset at this one particular thing. And one of the things that I had to learn is that my words that I speak over my life have power. the things that I say about my future, my life, my son, my family, my businesses, those things become indicative to how I walk on a day-to-day basis. If you're always thinking you're fat because you're fat, you're going to always be fat. If you always think, oh, I'm dark-skinned and I'm ugly, or I don't like my skin, or, you know, this won't happen, then it won't. Because of how you're thinking and speaking about yourself. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm your host, Jaja. Make sure you share these videos, guys. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube. And one of the things is that, you know, on Mother's Day, it's hard, you know, especially when you're a mother, or you've lost your mother, or you've lost someone that was like a mother. And I remember, you know, being frustrated and hating God. Like, really, like, me and God was beefed out. Well, I mean, I was beefed out with God. I mean, he really wasn't beefed out with me. I was beefed out with God, you know, because I felt like, you know, like, you took my mom. Like, this is our mother, you know. And I would see certain things that reminded me of my mother, and it would make me mad. And I would be mad, or I would be sad. And I had to learn to change my thought process, because it was teaching me and showing me that your mom is right near you. Her spirit dwells not only over you and around you, but it dwells in you. Sometimes we don't have to have the physical presence of someone to know that they're in our spirit. It's like when your kids is at school and you get a unction, something ain't right, or something going on. Let me call my child. Or something going on with my spouse or my friend, and I can feel it in my spirit. They don't got to call you to tell you. You don't have to see it on Facebook. You don't have to see it or scroll it on Instagram. You just get that unction that I need to connect with someone. And I remember that there were times where I had to look at what I was seeing. I saw a turquoise minivan one day riding up the street, and my mom, she had a red Windstar minivan. And then she had a turquoise minivan. And I remember seeing this woman, this plus-size, full-figure woman, and she had her arm just hanging on the window of the van. And I just started crying, because all I could remember is, that looked like my mama arm. That looked like my mama van. And it was tears of joy, because God was reminding me through that image that she's right here by your side. And sometimes we'll allow our depression and our negative thoughts to cloud how we move throughout the day. If you're a person that easily gets depressed, then you need to learn mechanisms that will help encourage you. Put on some old school music. Put on some 90s R&B. You know, I have a really good friend, and he sparked a love for music in me again, to start listening to certain music to feel good. The other day I was listening to Mary J. Blige Share My World album, and I was just I was just vibing. I was doing my work and I was vibing, listening to Mary J. Blige, and it brought all of these beautiful memories back. It reminded me of days when I wrote in my diary, and it reminded me of days when, you know, I thought I was in love, you know, with that little knucklehead boy from high school, you know, and it brought up all of these positive vibes. And in this season that we're living in, we all need positive vibes only. And the thing about it is that my mom was a full-figured, plus-size woman, honey, that shut it down everywhere she went. And, you know, in the season that we're living in, we have to encourage each other. You know, I was reading my Daily Bread, as I do every day, and it was talking about being under construction. And always, not just so reinventing yourself, but always being under construction. You know, when I was in rehab for 33 days, my counselor, she would always say to us, progress, not perfection. You know, my pastor, Bishop J. Rashid, he would always say sanctification is a process. You know, so many people are able to pretend on social media that their lives are this golden world, and it's not. You know, we have the tendency to look at people and think, oh, I want to be like them, or, oh, you know, I love the life that they're living, not knowing the daily struggles and the daily things that they have to do to even live that life. And it's so sad when you have people that stunt for Facebook and stunt for social media to seem like they're on top, not knowing that if we were to open up those doors if we were able to look through that window behind closed doors, your life is literally a mess. Your life is literally like a junk drawer, and it is full of a bunch of stuff that you want to hide. And see, it's easy to go and get a drop top convertible Benz. It's easy to go and put on a chain and put Cardis on. It's easy to flash some money in social media because you want to look like you got it popping, like you got it going on, but you're broken. You are broken. And it's sad. You know, I look forward to people who love the simplistic things, like rain. Rain is simplistic because it's calming. It's a calmness that rain brings. When the sun is out, we turned up. Let's go. We live. We lit. We ready to just go, do. But rain allows us to be calm. It allows us to think, recalibrate our thought process, find out what is God saying for us in this season. Because when the sun is out, we ain't listening. We want to hang out. We want to get turned up. We want to get lit. And we ain't thinking about God, COVID-19, or nothing. We thinking about let's have a good day. Let's get out here in these streets. Let's see what we can see. And the thing about it is that we still have to be in a season of precaution. Because little do you know, this is our new norm. And it's going to be our new norm up until 2021. It's going to be our new norm until they find ways to not only cure this virus, but ways to handle it and ways to deal with one another. Because let's just be real and be honest with us and let the truth be the truth, is that this virus has changed the trajectory of all of our lives. Everybody and their mama thought that they had plans to do certain things. Everybody and their mama had plans for March, for April, for May, June, all the way up until whenever. We all had things that we said we was planning on doing, planning on going. And the thing about it is that sometimes our new norm comes with adjustments. And see, with the rain, it wipes some things away, like our family members who have gone too soon because of this virus. And then some of our loved ones who have been murdered because of this virus. Now, there are some people who, and unfortunately, listen, yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. We're talking about getting over the hill. There are some people, it was their time. We have been holding on to them. They were battling some illnesses, some sicknesses. Like right now, my grandmother that just passed, you know, she was depressed because she had lost her daughter. My aunt, diabetic, on 20 different medications. She was tired. And if we really, really sit down and think about our loved ones that have gone on, that dealt with some medical issues, they were holding on. They were holding on as long as they could hold on. And had this virus not come, they would probably be holding on a lot longer. But sooner or later, we were going to lose them. And the thing about it is that then we have those people that were murdered because of this virus. And yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. They were murdered. When you have a hospital that says, do not resuscitate in 3 days, if they don't get better, you're not even giving a person a fighting chance to live. You have people that are operating that don't even understand how to utilize the equipment. They don't know how to even deal with this pandemic. And so because they aren't knowledgeable on how to deal with it, they end up making mistakes. When my mother passed away in 2015, it was because of medical malpractice. And don't get me wrong, I'm super grateful for all of those individuals that are frontliners, especially those frontliners that know God and the power of prayer. But so many people lean on doctors to treat and heal, but doctors treat, they don't heal. They treat. And so because they treat, we oftentimes are so dependent upon the medical field and the medical industry to fix us, when God has given us dandelions, oranges, apples, water to heal our body, sleep, rest. Some of you have not gotten real sleep. Before this pandemic, you probably got the best sleep that you've ever had because You have time to rest your mind. You're not rushing and going through traffic and getting the kids to school and trying to figure out how you're going to get to work from school and trying to get gas and you got to get here and you got to go there and you ripping and running. You've allowed your mind to rest. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm your girl. I'm your host, Hubbard. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Facebook. Listen, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Just go to YouTube, click in the search bar, and then just click subscribe, and I'll take care of the rest from there. But we're talking about getting over the hill. And the scripture was from Hebrews 10 and 11, and it says, "For by one sacrifice he is made perfect forever for those who are being made holy." And so sometimes in life, we have to go and be under construction. Every day, our lives are under construction. Let me tell you something. I am so much better being Jaja right now than I was 5 years ago, a year ago, 10 years ago. Same Jaja. Same Jaja. Just like you're the same you, but you're a whole lot better than what you were. The other day, it was a girl in the furniture store. She was spazzing out. She was flipping out. And all I could do was identify with her because that was once me. And I was sitting there and I was just so calm and patient. And the man was like, "I'll be with you in a moment." And I was like, "This no problem, sir. I don't have anywhere to be. And even if I did, I'm in no rush to get there." My thought process had changed. My thought process was totally different. I used to be that impatient, ready, let's get it popping, let's get it going type of person where I didn't understand the value of patience. And so many of us are in a rush to do and go nowhere. We're in such a rush, and God is allowing right now, and I've been telling people all day since this pandemic has started, that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. Now, the difference between the wicked and the righteous, what are you going to do with your wealth? What are you going to do with the money? What are you going to do with the opportunities? See, some people get the money and they want to do it to stunt. They want to say, "Look what I got. Look what I did." Then there are some people that are going to invest in themselves, self-development, in their business, developing new relationships, maybe possibly getting married and building a family, something that you've so desired. Or maybe you're looking to follow through on education or opportunities that you once lacked. See, the difference between wicked and righteous is what do you do with the wealth that you've been given. There are so many people, that have complained about their kids going back to school. And the truth be told, your kids aren't going back to school. They won't be going back to school until 2021. When the school semester starts in the fall, it's going to be virtual. It's not going to be your kid going to have a backpack and we get to take pictures of them walking into school for their first day of school. That's not happening. It's not happening. It is not happening. So get that thought through your head. Tag a friend to tag a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. School will not be reopening until 2021. And even then, it's going to be very different in terms of how they're going to operate. So you might as well stop complaining about being your child's teacher. You might as well stop complaining about when school gonna open, when your kids going back to school, when whoop, 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 whoop. You might as well get your mind locked in and prepared. College is not reopening. So if you were sending your little baby on off to college, it's not happening. It's not happening because of the fact that they have not found any cures. They have not found any vaccines. So you have to understand, do you want to celebrate your first day of your child going to school, or do you want to look at your child in a casket? Because now they have acquired this virus. And if we really want to be honest and tell the truth about it, some of us have sent our kids to school knowing that they had a cold, knowing that they had a little sniffle or a cough. But because we wanted to get rid of them so bad, we sent them kids to school sick. Now, I didn't do that. Yeah, I said it before I take it back. I'm going to add more to it. I was the one complaining about the kid who was sent to the school knowing that they were sick. Why their mama or their daddy didn't make them stay at home. And so if we know that parents will send their kids to school with a cold, you don't think they will send their kids to school with COVID? As we're seeing the numbers escalate in our children who obviously can get this virus as well, it is affecting them differently and similar to how it's affecting adults. But here it is, you got a baby that's still growing, still developing. As adults, we're able to fight things a lot better because our brains have developed, our hearts have developed, our bones have developed. We have developed fully as an adult. My son has not even made it to his maturity of how his body is going to be as a grown man. He's still growing. So just imagine a little baby or a little kid getting this virus because they mama is raggedy or they daddy is foolish and they just sent their babies to school with this virus. They already allowed our children to have high levels of bacteria and lead in the water. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. What makes you think that there are going to be real provisions for our kids? And if there are real provisions, how many kids are going to follow them? Kids don't even want to wear the mask right now. They think it's fun. They think it's a joke. They don't even realize, I was at the grocery store last night with my nephew, and he had his mask on, and he was in the buggy, and he just was touching the buggy and wiping his hands across the buggy and just touching the back of the buggy. And I was like, baby DJ, give me your hands. And I'm put these gloves on. Because they don't realize the magnitude of what's happening in their world. Right now, this is historic. And if you're tuning in, we're talking about getting over the hill. And the thing about it is that we have to become accustomed to this new norm. Just like the people had to become accustomed to World War I or the Vietnam War or dealing with prisoners of war or dealing with Hitler and dealing with all of these things that happen in our society and in our history. This time frame that we're living in is going to be in history books. It's going to be documented for documentaries for years to come. It's almost as if it's like President Barack Obama, who was the first African-American man to win and become president. This is how historic this is. Is it sad? Absolutely. Is it depressing? Absolutely. Is it really frustrating to not be able to live your normal life on a day-to-day basis? But would you rather go out and live the life that you so desire and die because you want to go to the movies? Die because you want to go get your nails done or get your face beat? This is the time to learn to do some of these things that you've never been able to learn before. This is the time to be creative and to get over that hump and that hill of saying, oh God, I got to be in my house. I'm sure the shelters wish that they had a house. I'm sure the people that are sitting in prison right now or the county jail wish that they could be in their house. I'm sure that people that are living on top of each other in a house where it's 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and you got 8, 9 people in the house and you complaining about being at home. That we have to get to a place where we're helping each other get over that hill. And see, when we were in the Bahamas and it was raining and it was that beautiful mystic rain, people were frustrated because they didn't have on the shoes we had on. This one lady, she took her flip-flops off and just started walking barefooted. And she latched on to one of the other girls who had on gym shoes. See, this is a moment where we should be pulling each other up, not complaining, not wishing that we all want to be where we want to be. We all want to do what it is that we want to do. But this is a season where we have to pull each other up, where we have to learn that together everyone achieves more. What that acronym really means when it comes to linking up and being a team. Some of us have been so afraid to be ourselves, including me, dealing with alopecia and dealing with wanting to talk about beauty and being a beauty expert, because my mother was in the beauty field for 35 years. We have partnerships that go back to Hudson's before it was a Macy's. That's how deep and rooted that I'm in this thing. And so sometimes we don't want to seem like, oh, you know, I'm doing too much, or, I don't want to post this, or, I don't want people to think certain things. But you have to get to a point where nobody's opinion about you matters. And that's how you get over the hill. That's how you get over the hump. Learning that I can't pay DTE with your opinion. Is some of your opinions valuable? Are some of them, do they have or hold some validity to it? Maybe, depending on how I feel about taking it. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. We're talking about getting over that hump, getting over that hill. And when we're under construction, there are things that are taken away from us. Some things that are given to us. Some things that got to be smoothed out in our lives. Some things that got to get torn up and repaved in our lives. Some things, some tools that we once used that we thought were effective, we can't use them no more. Raising my son, growing up, I could tell him, if you don't do this, you're not going to get no chips and juice. And he would shape up. I can't threaten him with chips and juice no more. Our conversation is different because he's under construction. I'm under construction. And so now my approach is different. Now is you can't use my car to go see that little girl. Yeah, I said it before I take it back. I'm ammo to it. So now the conversation is different. And see, some of us, we have to learn that every approach is different. You got to look at your children being at home with you. You made them kids. You can't complain about your kids being at home. I know they get on your nerves, but you the one created them. You the one laid down and had about several pumps and made that little crumb snatcher. You. So you cannot be mad and irritated and upset when your child is coming in the room. Ma, he hit me, he touched me, he hit me, he did this, I need to do, ooh. Now is the time to create that schedule, create that plan. But if there's no schedule being created, because these kids want school, they miss school just like you missed them going. They miss school just like you miss them being there. So you have to create that scheduling. They don't got to get up at 8 o'clock, but every day my son gets up, getting ready for school, 9 o'clock. When he doesn't have class, he's going over his ACT, SAT prep. He's going over his Khan Academy. He's going over scholarships. He's going over school, virtual school tours, because it doesn't stop. Just because right now is a quiet season, it's a rainy season right now where things are quiet and they're calm, it does not mean that you do not stop striving for success. And the thing about it is unfortunately people that look like you and me were always behind on everything. Kids in Novi was already doing online classes. Kids in the suburbs, they was already doing virtual learning. It's the kids in the low income, economically deprived communities that didn't have access to this type of learning. So now we can't get frustrated at the new norm when everybody else been doing it. We just now catching up. We just now catching on. And the thing about it is that I get it for those parents who's like, but you understand, Jaja, I've been waiting for this moment for my daughter to graduate. I've been waiting for this moment for my son to go to prom. And I did all of this stuff. You can still do all of that stuff. You can still do all of that stuff. The only difference is now you got to be creative. Now you got to be able to formulate and have. I've seen so many virtual graduations. I seen a guy, he graduated with his master's, and they created a podium. They had all the family, and they had somebody on the little karaoke mic. And they called his name, and they gave him a rolled up piece of paper with a string tied to it. And he walked across the living room and got his diploma and shook people's hands. And they had gloves on and they had on masks. But they still honored his accomplishments. And so in this season, getting over that hill may be difficult and it may be a hard climb, but we got to work together to get to that point. There are seasons in our lives where some of those valleys are going to be very, very low. Very low. There was a season in my life where I didn't even have enough strength to try to climb. I was crawling. I couldn't climb. I was crawling. There are times in our lives where we won't be able to just be energetic and just shuck and jive through this hill and go through it like we did on the Bahamas. There are going to be times where you're going to be tired, where you don't have no fight. You don't have nothing in you. And those are the times where you have to find out, okay, what is God showing me and teaching me in this season? Because at the end of the day, right now is the time for us to focus on our health, not just physical health, but that's important too. Our mental health. Where's our mind at? How are we looking at things? How are we perceiving things? What are we looking to? What are we gravitating to in this season in our lives? What makes us happy? What puts a smile on our face? What makes us sad? What makes us out? The things that make us depressed or cause anxiety. Now our heartbeats are palpitating and we getting chronic headaches because we looking at certain things. Now is the time to address those issues. So when the world opens back up, you're not plagued with those emotions and the ones to come. When you stop dealing with things that you're dealing with, you stop growing. And it's hard to look at a rainy day like this and not see the power of rain. Rain helps us grow. Rain helps us grow. I used to be this tough girl, and if you're listening, you're tuning in, and you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're talking about getting over the hill. I was this tough girl, just a girl from Joy Road. If you know from where I come from, if you a D girl, if you know how you had to live, you had to walk home, stay away from weirdos. You know, you had to deal with girls that were jealous, girls that wanted to jump you. I came from an era where girls was wearing, putting razor blades in their mouth, hitting people upside the head with locks. You know, they was jumping people during that time. So I come from a different zone where, you know, you had to be a little gutter and a little treacherous to even deal with the neighborhoods that you came from. And if there was any punk in you, people would see it. They would sense it. They would know it. That's how people were easily able to get bullied, because they knew who was timid, who wasn't. And so there was always those ones that wanted to test your gangster and test your theory to see was you the one to mess with. And I know that during this time frame, you know, I wanted to be a tough cookie. You know, when my mom died, and you know, I was holding the family together, and I was making sure bills was getting paid. I was going through the lawsuit with our attorney, and I was dealing with all of these things, and me being a Joy Road girl that I am, the D girl that I am, all I could think about was I gotta hold the family together, like my mama said. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And before I knew it, I was overwhelmed. I was boiling over like a pot of rice. And I snapped because I hadn't had a good cry. I hadn't allowed the tears to just run down my face. I didn't have the cry that some of us need. Some of us just need to cry and just get it out. We've been tough for so long, holding it together for so long, that all hell breaks loose, and then we snap. And then everybody like, oh, she crazy. Oh my God. Did you see Jaja? Did you know, I had all of these whispers. Like, did you see her? Did you see her without her wig? Did you see her snap? She done bust out all the windows. She done tore the door off the hinges. I had so many more whispers than I had prayers. And it was sad, because it was like, you don't even realize what I am going through. It was hurtful. It was hurtful, because it was like, I am overwhelmed. I am in despair. And that's why every day we are under construction. If you're tuning in, we're talking about getting over that hill. Every day we're under construction. Every day. We are tearing old habits down, building up new ones, recalculating relationships and friendships. There are people that I just knew I was going to be friends with for the rest of my life. And unfortunately, when I went through some of these valleys, I had to go through some of these valleys by myself. When I was dealing with loneliness, grief, depression, it was easy to put on the facade on social media and say, oh, I'm okay, I'm fine, everything is great, everything is amazing, I love my life, everything is wonderful. And then knowing that once I was done taking that picture of that video, that I'm looking at my life is still a hot mess. And a lot of us don't want to realize or even deal with the fact that my life is a hot mess. I need to deal with some of the things that I am struggling with, that I'm frustrated with, things that are hurting or hindering me, that's causing me not to move forward. You know, sometimes I was in our group chat, in our influencer group chat, and she was talking about sometimes we feel like we're just in a hamster wheel, and we're just cycle, same cycle, same cycle, same cycle, same cycle. And it's because we're not changing certain things. We're not changing certain behaviors. See, people love me and hate me because I speak my mind. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And at the end of the day, you don't have a heaven or hell to put me in. And see, some people don't like to be chastised or critiqued about things that they know that they're doing wrong. But because of habits, they've been doing it this way for so long that any form of critique, they shun from it. And that's why they still look the way they look, still doing the same thing they doing, while other people are growing and evolving around them, and you're mad because you're not moving or evolving, because you're doing the same thing, saying the same thing, living the same way. God is a God of addition and multiplication. He wants to do more for you, but if you're not willing and ready to change, it's hard to do that. And if you're tuning in, we're talking about getting over that hill, getting over that hump. And at the end of the day, people try to act like their lives are so perfect. Oh, I have the perfect family, I have the perfect kids. My kids don't do no wrong. You know, when you really accept the fact, my son is an F up. He made bad choices and bad decisions. My daughter, okay, she didn't do what I wanted her to do, or she's not as strong-minded as I would like for her to be. When you start acknowledging where you are in life and what the situation is, that's when God can move. It wasn't until I was honest and open with God about who I was mad about, what I was mad about, who I was jealous about, what I envied, the relationships that I desired that I didn't have anymore, the friends and the friendships that I lost, and the things that were my fault. It wasn't until I accepted the accountability of what was going on with me is when God was able to move in my world and in my life. I don't even deal with people the way that I once did. I'm not about to argue with you. Your opinion, I can't pay DTE with. Oh, you ain't talking to me? Bye. That's not going to stop me or God from blessing me because you decide that you want to be mad and not want to talk to me. You going to not talk to me and miss your blessing. Because at the end of the day, our health is our wealth. You walking around here with chronic headaches because other people are causing them and you don't want to speak up and say nothing. You're dealing with spiritual retardation, and you've been praying for something for years, but guess what? You have not changed anything about how you operate or move that's conducive to God honoring that blessing. It wasn't until I really saved my money that I no longer needed to borrow money from nobody. It wasn't until I started making wise choices with my finances where I actually seen a revenue in my businesses. There was a point where I was making the money, but just as I was making it, I was losing it at the same time. And I'm like, I got clients, they're paying me. Where's my money going? What am I not doing right? And see, if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, make sure you share this video. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. There are a lot of things that I share in my Insta stories, information, people that could potentially help you. But because it's me, and you got your face turned up and your nose turned up because you don't even understand that being connected to me, you really blessed. You really blessed. But instead, a person will rather hate on you than learn to merge and say, let me see how I can compliment her, and let me see how she can compliment me, so that we can build what needs to be built. Yesterday, I was talking to my niece, Samaya. She wants to be an actress. And I connected her with one of my friends, Pageant Atterbury, who has a school for acting, for putting kids in Nickelodeon and Disney. But had we not had the conversation, she still would be trying to struggle to get her daughter, her granddaughter in position. But see, we look at each other as competition. Oh, I got to be better than her. You become jealous and envious, and then you want something that somebody else have, and then as soon as you get it, you like, man, I didn't realize what it took for this person to even keep this up. People envying me because of how I look, not knowing that every day I had to put on a wig and glue and all of these things that I had to get done in order for me to be and look like that. I mean, it's come easy with time. It comes like that now. But just the point, there are some people that are jealous of people over a struggle because they're happy. And you got way more than half of the people, but you still envious. You still jealous. You still hating. You still malicious. And I love the fact that man looks on the outward, but God looks at the heart. Because some of y'all hearts are foul. You go to church, but your heart messed up. You know the word, but your heart is, you're a hater. You a low-key hater. The conversations, God knows and hears all. The phone conversations that you have about people, the things that you've said, God knows. We might not know. It's easy to fool us with the, oh, hi, oh, I'm this, I'm that. But God knows. God knows. He sees all. He hears all. He knows why you do the things you do. He knows why you say the things.